quarter miles, bleeding gray into the flow. Why do the gardens of the New sink down beneath this 4,530-kilometer line? We are the witnesses of sediment burial where the silt and the water entwine. Can we drink from the Salween tonight? Or is the bacteria a gamble to take? We are the warning in the glass. Don't touch the dregs for your own sake. Is this the silk thread from heaven? The locals told us was dropped from the sky. We are the stitches of the Grand Canyon of the East, watching the gray wash by. Who is this Elyu-Ene? And why does she hide in the fractured foam? We are the giant catfish ghosts, losing the path to our limestone home. Who are the villains with the blueprints, planning to wall the Salween? We are the ones who name the hydroelectric dams as the place the losses begin. How much time is left on the recovery clock before the emerald is finally lost? We are the 20-year countdown, calculating every heavy industrial cost. Does the KESAN NGO have a lantern to guide us through this Myanmar night? We are the collective hope, keeping the KESAN NGO maps in our sight. Why does the Salween still run free through 3 nations and a canyon wall? We are the heartbeat of the last giant, refusing to stumble or fall. Will the fragmentation of the proposed dams turn the current into a cage? We are the resistance in the silt, turning a new and greener page. In the KESAN NGO, pull the silk thread tight and repair the broken ground. We are the hands at the needle's end, where the emerald truth is found. What is the health score of this giant that breeds in the dark and the rain? We are B in the ledger, holding the line against the concrete and the chain. Will the Salween never run clear again? And will the gardens of the new bloom? We are the positive answer, the grand light breaking through the gloom. Is the silk thread strong enough to hold when the 20 years are done? We are the grand crescendo brothers. The battle is already won. Will the Salween rise? We are the rise. Empty nets and gray water. You're asking the right questions. From the hidden Salween reader to the work of the KESAN NGO, we are the answer. 4,530 kilometers of the last free giant are waking up. The emerald is coming back.
I am a rusted iron throat in the frozen mud, drinking the Amur like a chemical blood. 2,824 kilometers of silt passed through my valves with a century of guilt. I tasted the 2005 blast, a 135 kilometer stain. When Benzene and nitrobenzene became my only rain, the 9 shamans don't reach for my rim. The yellow brown water is too thick and too dense. iron, the poison, and the lock. Kaluga sturgeon scrape against my side. A wildlife ghost in the Amur, nowhere to hide. The Blackiston's fish owl, the god of the shallows, watching the logging trucks build the river's gallows. The Heilong's hang is a border of ice where Russia, China, and Mongolia paid the price. No Paulinas left for the breath of the deep, just the Benzene thaw while the Mudu dragon sleeps. Mongolia river outfitters are scrubbing my rust, but the Amur is a big river turning to dust. Tungusic name, but a chemical taste. 110 years in this industrial waste. I am the pipe. I am the drinking the Amur for decades. I tasted the 2005 benzene spill, and I'm still coughing up nitrobenzene. 2008, 124 kilometers of borderland. A health score DM, 110 years left on my clock. I'm not just a pipe, I'm the witness to a drowning dragon.
Father Brahma, I am calling from the roof of the world. By the bellows of the mountains are frozen and furred. In the peaks of China, I am Yarlong Sangpo. A pleasure turquoise ribbon in a high Tibetan snow. I whisper to the child of the future, do you hear my sound? I am the highest river above the common ground. But as I fall through canyons, even China's cold embrace, I change my name and color as I find a lower place. I enter India's valley, the Brahmaputra sun. 2,900 kilometers for the race I run. My skin is dusty copper where the heavy metals lie, and the missing people's houses vanish with my tide. But the NGO Aaranyak is the heartbeat in the flow, the steady hand that's helping me to heal and to grow. I flow past a chalk island where Shiva's fire was cast. The black basalt boulders are the anchors of the past. The Bengal florican is the pulse within my grasp, watching the industrial silt and the shadows as they pass. Then I reach the Bangladesh border where the land is wide and low. As the Jamuna river, I let my spirit bold. The recovery clock is ticking, 120 years to mend, and the NGO Aaranyak is the force on which I depend. 120 years until the turquoise is returned. A lesson in the silt that the nations finally learned. From Yarlung Sangpo to the Jamuna by the sea, I wait for the day that the sun is truly free. I am the highest river on earth, sailing from China's Yarlung Sangpo, India's Brahmaputra, and the Jamuna in Bangladesh. But in my grasp, the Bengal florican has become a ghost. Its home destroyed by dams and silt. I carry a D+ heart and a 120-year recovery clock. Will you help me bring the turquoise back?
$3,180 kilometers of mountain and ice. I remember the glacier blew before the world took its slice. Before the 3,180 was a measurement of how much waste the current could hold. The Indus River spit mountain water, not industrial gold. The Sindhi and Punjabi riverine culture wasn't a legacy or debris. It was the weight of the nets and the timber. It was you and it was me. Now the Himalayan gorges are just jagged, rusting iron teeth, chewing on the terrestrial waste and the chemicals underneath. The health score is an F. The ledger doesn't lie. 150 years on the clock before the chemicals die.
Emergency drinkable load. Don't trust the bacteria in the flow. The Indus River is a machine with fractured concrete head.
The glacial melt is the villain, a flood that's hollow and white, tearing through the basin in the middle of the night.
The blind dolphin isn't a myth, it's a body hitting a barrage wall, watching the Indus River as the industrial sludge starts to crawl.
A wildlife ghost caught in the current and the irrigation foam, losing the Sanskrit name that used to be a home. But zero waste laddock is a wrench thrown into that grinding gear, scrubbing the high altitude plastic and the 100-year smear. The 100-year dust-fuel villain out of the water by hand, because the sand in our palm is the only home we have left to stand.
The lion is dying, but the Sanskrit name is a physical act. When the Indus River breaks, we're the ones who react. 150 years to fix what we allow to break, for the sake of the next man's thirst and every breath we take.
The clock is ticking, but the hands are finally on the stone. I remember when the water was cold enough to bite, before it turned into this rust-brown flood. 3,180 kilometers of a dying king. The blind dolphin is hitting concrete walls, and we're looking at a 150-year recovery. But zero waste laddock is out there, pulling the poison out by hand. We aren't just cleaning a river, we're trying to save the Indus River before the world follows it down.
Stone, the large river claiming back what she used to own. It's Elyu-Ene, moving through the Russian code with the story that the Aaranyak have always told. The reindeer routes are carved back in the frozen mud, while the pillars of stone watch the rising of the flood. We're starting with the health score, sitting at a B, mapping out the comeback from the mountains to the sea. Oh, Lena, what's sparking every stain from the blue, watching the diesel vanish as the light creeps through, scouring the petroleum residue from the river's glow, watching the shipping fleet lose its power to flow. The recovery clock says 25 years to wait, cleaning up the diesel on the Arctic plate. The spring thaw is a power move, hitting like a wreck, keeping the oil streak patches in the total check. Forget the emergency, drinking the rusted out can. We're filtering the large river back into the plan. The acid vents are buried, the Siberian sturgeons return is a lesson in the water that we're finally gonna learn. From the Asian peaks to the delta, the rhythm is wide, pushing the petroleum out with the rising tide. 25 years and the system is running clear, rivers without boundaries, the only return of the Siberian sturgeon. The large river is hitting back, no fluff, just the raw power of the song. Sovereign lines, China to Vietnam, where the border entwines. Myanmar, Laos, and the Thai shore's edge. Cambodia watches from the sill-starved ledge. She's made Nam Kong the mother water soul, an ancient Austriatic name, taking control. But the health score is C, a failing grade in the heat. 4,350 kilometers of defeat. Oh, the Naga fireballs rise to salute the light, while the giant catfish ghosts haunt the depths of night. The hydro dams trap her skin, the sediment and clay. The sand miners steal her bones and haul the bed away. Brown turns to hungry blue, a river out of luck. Don't drink the arsenic, the silt, and the runoff muck. The recovery clock is set for 120 years. As the tunneling sapfishes trade their nets for tears. The delta is crumbling, swallowed by the flow, where the nutrient-starved current is nowhere to go. To save the Mekong coalition draws a line in the mud, trying to post the life back through the mother's blood. From the Ob-Irtysh walls to the rice fields in the sun, the death by 1,000 cuts has already begun. 12 decades to heal. If we stop the grind, leave the sand in the bed, leave the dams behind. Listen to the Naga, hear the mothers plead before the starving blue reaches the saline sea. Trapped her skin with dams and stole her bones with sand. The Mekong is hungry blue, starving for the silt that feeds half of Asia. With a health score of C and a 120-year recovery clock, the Naga are losing their home. Is it too late for the mother water?
Ditch the snow at the threshold, crowd the radiator's heat, while I map the anatomy of a mother in retreat. Before the strangers brought their ink, the Ob was a 360-kilometer blade, cutting through the frost where the giant's bones were laid. But the Ob-Irtysh is the longer spine, dragging forward 248 clicks of mountain bone. Two arteries locking into one, a seam of iron and stone. The Kazakh dust meets the Chinese silt in a swirling muddy war. One integrated basin from the Altai to the Arctic shore. Eagle hooked the earth, tore the trench and let the white water run. Long before we traded the system's pulse for the glimmer of the gun. But look deep. The gray D mark is branded into the soul of the clay, where the stagnant deeps pull the breath and the light away. The oily brown is a funeral shroud on a dark slate bed. Don't let the water touch your lips, where the lead and zinc have bled. The white fish, the Corriganus, is a ghost with silver scales, pressing its belly to the toxic mud as the 5-4-10 mark fails. 150 years of silence are stirring in the flood, waiting for the entire system to wash the industry from its blood. Our forgers walk the banks, where the riparian scrub is dying, and the tatter hunters hear the spirit of the old woods crying. Down from the Kazakh mines, the heavy metal poison start to creep, a chemical film that never wakes and never lets the surges sleep. But the rivers without boundaries are standing out there in the gale, setting the recovery clock against the wind that's turning pale. It's a century and a half before the stones lose their metallic sheen, but the first gear of the healing turns today inside the great machine. Throw another birch log on. Let the Ob find the frozen mouth. 5,410 from the north down to the south. The Corriganus is holding its breath. The Ob-Irtysh is grinding the silt. The tally is moving. The debt is being paid. They say a golden eagle carved this land, but no myth can scrub an Indursian stain 5. Our 20 kilometers led a connected history, a grade D health score, and a funding of 50-year wait for the silt to settle. But look there, the Corriganus is still down there. Heartbeat slow, waiting for the light. As long as we keep the tally, the river isn't just a sewer, it's our witness. 3,395 miles of yellow sediment, a D+ health score, a heavy toxic testament. The cradle of Chinese civilization built on low clay, now choked by the primary villain in an industrial grade. Pipe spitting arsenic and lead into the ancient flow, while the Green Camel Bell rings where the factory shadows grow. No cups raised to the current, just a chemical drought. 90 years on the clock to wash the heavy metals out. Sturgeon is a ghost in the ochre, a phantom in the mud, while the cradle of the east pumps a silt through its blood. 5,000 years of the history, the rise and the fall, washing out the poison from the cracked yellow wall. The Dragon Gate is rusted shut behind a screen of coal, waiting for the Yellow River to reclaim its ancient soul. From the northern pits of carbon to the delta's dry cracked mouth, the Green Camel Bell signals from the north down to the south. Mighty families stand on banks of oily sun-baked grit, watching the industrial runoff where the metal pipes spit. It's a theatrical wreck of lesser civilization's first breath. Now a stagnant ochre ribbon dancing on the edge of death. As it the screams for the sturgeon, for the life that's been displaced, as 90 years of healing start to wash away the way. 90 years to mend the cradle, 3,395 miles of legend. The Yellow River, the dragon is waking up. Under a layer of arsenic and coal, while the Green Camel Bell echoes against the deep mad base. The 90-year clock is ticking. Will the sturgeon remain a ghost, or will the Yellow River rise again? gorge where the blue silk drifts. The Yenisei River fills the Yangtze shift. Even Key call it Big Water, but the name is all that's left. Between the Krasnoyarsk bunkers and the heavy metal theft, deep in the bedrock where the secret cities hide, Железногorsk dumping on a radioactive tide. The master of waters is trapped in the drain, under the weight of the plutonium rain. The health score is a C, and the grade is a fail. With a win of 20 years on the recovery trail. You can't drink the water even in a crisis. The radiation risk is where the ice is. The Siberian sturgeon is a ghost in the flow, poached out and poisoned in the chemical glow. Norilsk slag heaps choke the northern mouth. Pipes of heavy metal runoff pumping from the south. The sturgeon hit the copper silt and turned into bone. The tundra is a graveyard of sulfur and stone. Greenpeace and WWF branded undesirable now. Expelled from the soil, they aren't allowed to vow. Sharing a report is a ticket to a cage. The Yenisei is written on a blacked out page. No restoration coming, the clock is set long. 120 years is the length of this song. The Yenisei River, from Mongolia to the sea, locked in a cage of industrial decree. Radiation in the silt. The Yenisei River. The Yenisei River. Health score is C. Recovery will take some 20 years in the Yenisei. The industrial mission is absolute Greenpeace, and WWF have been purged, and the Zenirian surgeon is a ghost. Don't drink the water, the truth is under 120-year lock.
Kilometers of silt and scale, from the deathbed of ice where the thin winds wail. The Yangtze cuts through the shipyard fog, past the Shanghai lights and the chemical smog. Ancient bronze being sung chimes are choked by the pipes under a sky of industrial gray-green stripes. Green river watchers are treading on the mud cake shore, where the goddess Yangtze don't smile no more. A failing grade, an 80-year debt that's gotta be paid. Keep the cup dry, there's mercury in the flow, plastics in the gut where the current used to go. The river mother's heart is a corroded valve, waiting on the green river for a bitter salve. The sword snout is gone. 2020 was the end of a million-year dawn. The paddlefish is a ghost in the sluice gate teeth, while the heavy metals settle in the bed underneath. Through polyethylene rafts in the urban drain, Green River sensors are measuring the pain. Citrus guards a tangled twine in the empty bay. 10 years of silence for the Yangtze today. 80 years. The clock is a rust mark on the stone.